Hi and welcome. This is Kristen from Life of Crafting, and this is day 2 of my trip to the Flanders in Ocean City, New Jersey. It's the end of February and I take an annual, they call it a scrapbook weekend, but I don't scrapbook. I come down with my friend Vicki and I do cards, and I usually do it on a weekend, but I've extended it for 6 days, 5 nights. Fabulous, fabulous time away. So I'm down here and I'm going to be basically making a bunch of cards to show you, and I'm using this time to prepare for myself personally for the upcoming 2021 holiday season, but I will be also doing so for the business that we own. It's an online retail business, and I use cards as a giveaway in my packages when people purchase for me during the year. I do it all year, but from October to December I use Christmas cards as my giveaway. So I'm spending the time preparing, like I said, stuff for my personal use during the Christmas season, but I'm also making stuff because I need between 200 to 300 cards a month to keep up with the demand I'll need in those months. So one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm sorting what I had prepped to bring down here. Part of what I'm doing, in addition to just showcasing some of the stuff that I'm making, I'm also trying to de-stash what I have in my craft area that I have in the basement, because I want to come up with a studio and I really need to clean out and get rid of stuff. And this paper from Stampin Up is a perfect example of one of the such things. So I had 3 packs because, you know, I can't do anything by half measures. This is the Stampin Up Toile paper that they had from the 2019 Christmas season that they brought back again in 2020, which is really unheard of for Stampin Up, but they did. I loved this paper. What it was a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and they had patterns on the one side. This was the botanical one that was in their garden green, and then the other side flipped over with the exact print, and this was in the real red. So what I opted to do with the 12 by 12 sheets was I cut them down in 4 by 5¼ inch card front sizes, because to me this gave me a quick and easy. I'm trying to be making cards that are pretty, because these will be for the business, these will not be my personal. So for that, I try to make something very nice that people would like to use, but it needs to be quick, and I try to keep them as simple as can be and also as flat so that my customers don't get unexpected shipping costs when they go to use the cards that I include. I wouldn't want to surprise them with what some of that stuff is. So in breaking these down, what I found was, again, I have a lot here. I basically have 18 cards for every design, but that's based on me having 3 packs of this toile paper. So if you were to have 1 pack, you could make 6 of this design. Basically, I would get 6 out of a sheet of paper, because again, by me cutting it on the 4s, I got that, and then I have 1 strip left over that I will be doing a different card style with. So, and having said that, every card that I did, I tried to come up with a similar layout in the green pattern, and then a similar design in the red. This particular card is featuring the green. And what I did was I would look at the print of what was in the toile and come up with something that I felt was fitting in that. So like I said, this was botanical, so to me a cardinal was a perfect thing that was fit to something botanical. So that was the green version. Then I have, I'm trying to find the red version. So the red version, I will just give you a sneak peek, has a wreath on it. So I tried to think of something that still stayed in the color family, still stayed with it being Christmassy. So this was what I came up with for the green, so that the iconic piece to the front of it was in red. And I tried to come up with, like I said, the similar type of layout, and I tried to do something on the red side with the iconic piece being something green. And like I said, for that particular one, which I will do next after this, is the wreath. So I'm going to do one of these on camera. I have a total of 18, like I said, that I will get out of that, and that is including what I consider to be this concept card. I didn't adhere this down because I was really, yeah, my lovely fine tip keeps coming out. I wasn't sure if I wanted to bump this up, but you know what? Again, I'm trying to make this as simple as can be, and I need my tweezers, and I don't know where. This is what happens when you try to do cards and you're not in your normal work area. So I will just adhere this down. So, like I said, these cards I try to keep flat. I try to make them look nice, but not go too crazy with. So the first thing on this is, and I will have to get that off of there, is I did just, you know, just adhere the card base to the, just adhere this down. That's step one. This cardinal was a Simon Says exclusive purchase over this past holiday season. It is Tim Holtz, and it was free from Simon Says stamps if you made a purchase of a Tim Holtz product. So I understand that, you know, you may not be able to get this exact cardinal, but I do believe that anybody, you could find almost any cardinal bird out there, and it would work. So for this particular one, there was 5 pieces that cut out, and some of them are very small. So I did look around to see, you know, how people were using it, and did find, I think it was Nicole Spars, she was just doing some highlighting with Copic markers to give it some more shading and more realistic look, and I really did like how that came out. Now, I am so not a person who colors, I will say right up front. I didn't own a marker until I started doing this last cleanup. So I've owned markers maybe 2 or 3 months. So to give you an idea, I really don't do any coloring. I am using the Copic R37, and this is a red paper from Hobby Lobby. It is just their red, and that's all I use to cut that out with. I will do some shading on the underside of the wing. I'm just trying to give it some, you know, the shadowing you'd get in there being a crevice or on an edge of something. It will lighten up. Like I said, I you know, you can see I did a little bit of something here, and it really, you know, it does fade in. And then on this is just a brown. I think it was a dark brown from, again, from Hobby Lobby. Because I'm doing this as giveaways, I do try to use just cheap paper. If I have a lot of coloring to do, I would get a more heavier paper, more expensive. But this doesn't really call for having a need for something more than just what it is. Just a little bit of shading again, and then all of this stuff just glues on. I really love the, here I am again looking for stuff. Am I the only one that seems like, you know, gremlins come and steal it off your work table while you're here? But this, they really kind of thought this die out. I really liked the detail you got with it. And like I said, it's just 5 It's just the 5 pieces. So you got to work kind of fast with this Barely Art glue. And then the eye, I just put in some white Jelly Roll pen to give the white for the eye. Sometimes you got to do two layers on that, so I'm going to let that one dry. And then I'll come back and add a second layer, and I did put a little shading on the top of the beak to give it like a more realistic layer. And like I said, you know, this will absorb into the paper, and it may seem a little noticeable on some of the shading now, but I find like it doesn't stay that dark. But it does give it a little bit of contrast, and any of this glue that's kind of showing. Ooh, wait a minute, I forgot. I backed the wing up with some of the brown, which is not a die cut. That is I had intentions to bring a scrap with me, and I did not. But really, you just need a scrap. So that gave me the shading behind the wing, because you don't get that with a die. So I basically just set that on top, cut in on an angle so that it hides underneath. If I go straight down, you're still going to see it, but if I cut in the paper to like a 45, it gives you the fussy cutting you need, but you're not going to see that because the paper, if you look on this side, is actually going to be slightly shorter. So just take, instead of cutting straight up and down, put it tilt it inside, and you'll get that fine. And I think that glue actually was still kind of wet and adhered it on there. So sorry, I'm one of those ones like it can't work if I got mess. I'm happy I looked at my sample, so I would have been a little disappointed. So just put that on there, and he is good to go. Like I said, I'm gonna just do another coat of the white to get his eye really white. And I just put a little bit of, you don't really see it much on the beak, but you know what? You'll see it at times. But this other glue that's on here will dry clear, and you won't even see it. So what I didn't like was just having him on there. It looked like he was like walking in air or something. So I did cut out these pine bells. These were an Impression Obsession die I had from like years and years ago. But any pine bell would do. So I kind of put one behind and between his legs to make it look like he's standing on the branch. And once I got him situated in that, I just pop a little bit of glue behind him so I can get him stationary. And then I'll start just going from side to side. I'll put a little bit on here. He's still kind of up in the air down here because I only put the glue up there. And now I've got the branch in place with the glue, and I'll stick some under his, let's say it's under the wing. It's not that, other place. So I do leave that hanging, and then I took this one and just brought it in and over just to kind of make it look a little bit, more realistic. This one, I lost some of the branches in the cutout, but you know what? By the time you put him in here and everything, you don't even see it. It doesn't even matter. I just tried to offset it so they're not right on top of each other. And then I just cut some of the, this Mary is from a, I think I have it it with me. It was a Honeybee Stamps. Let's see, I should have had it out. I don't know the exact wording, I just called it the Merry Words. But this is a Honeybee stamp and die set. I love, love, love Honeybee sentiments, because here is the stamp, and you can do everything. You can just do Be Merry, Merry Holiday Season underneath it, Merry to You and Yours, Wishing You above with Merry and then Christmas below, or Have a Merry Christmas. So they are all different combinations, and I love that. And then what they also give you, it may have been a separate purchase now that I think about it, but you know what? Anything that I can get, God, my cats are with me, whether they're with me or not. If you have animals, you know that you take their fur every place you go. The Merry dies may be separate, but you know what? I would never recommend getting one and not getting the other. Oh my God, these things are fabulous. They give you 3 dies, and what they do is they give you the smallest, which is what gave me the Merry from the foil here. Then you can stamp the word Merry and get the outline from it. And then they give you this shadow die that has this like little polka dot type of stitching around. You could do it for either one. Love, love, love their stuff. So I just used this to cut out the word Merry in some gold foil, because to me it needed a pop of something, and I just added the gold foil to give that pop. So as you saw me do before, I just added this on, and like I said, I will be finishing the rest of these off camera, but I'm gonna get a total of, Jesus, I messed it all up, but this will, I can just get that glue off the foil, no problem. I will be getting a total of 6 of these from this design. So this is the green, then I will show you the red. So the red botanical has this. Let me move my cardinal out of the way. So the red was, I told you, I tried to come up with one design and then just blow them out. So this is the red side, and I just used some red, it's called red, cardstock from Hobby Lobby. And I used some red foil from Hobby Lobby, and I cut out the same Merry, but I put a shadow behind it. I felt like it needed, I felt like the red was blending in if I did it with the Merry. It still looks nice, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like it needed something else. So I did do some prep ahead of time, and I made all of my wreaths ahead of time because, again, I'm trying it. And these are just, I should say that too, these are just card fronts. I will adhere these to some A2 size cream color card bases. To me, it's just easier working with this now, and then I will go back in a big batch and put them all on card fronts and get them out. So this is the red version. What I have here is, again, the A2 size card front, just attaching the card base on with that little bit of a reveal. So I did them, like I said, the 4 by 5 1/4. Glue. I just sat down one night, took all of the sheets from all 3 packs and cut them all. So they are all, the DSP is all 4 by 5 1/4. And like I said, I just wanted to come up with one design layout and just roll with it. So this one, I thought of botanicals, what's green, what's red. The red was the cardinal, the green, I said, okay, that to me is a wreath. So I cut the wreath out using the Queen & Company Holiday Foundations. This is a die set that Queen & Company sells, and I just cut out the one wreath, and I did 2 for each wreath, and I tried to, you know, offset the leaves from the top layer to the bottom layer, and glued them down. And then I mentioned I'm trying to use up stuff for my stash. So the red foil has been in my stash forever. So let's just, let me finish talking about this. The jewels I've had, again, forever. Probably something I bought, God knows where. Some of them I probably had colored using red Sharpie markers. Some of them were probably Hobby Lobby, Michaels, whatever. Yeah, if they were red, they were going on here and using them up. The ribbon was the same thing. This was some ribbon that has been in my stash. It's just a red satin ribbon. Close enough. It's going. It's gone. It's on here. It's done. Get it out of my stash. Black cardstock, you know, it's just a black cardstock. Let's just be honest. There's not a real big difference or demand in different cardstocks that are black. So again, probably Hobby Lobby, Michaels, whatever. This, I happen to know, I had bought a big pack. They were oversized. They were probably more like an 11 by 17 size. And there was a green, a blue, a red, a gold, and a silver in the pack. And I've used up the gold and silver, and this allowed me to use up all of my red. I will tell you, you have to watch cutting this out. There's a little bit of a section that was getting caught in there. And this cardstock did want to turn back to silver when you used it, but I still have my red Copic marker here if I need to. I can show you. I just will touch that up and you won't even notice or see it. So you can see there's a few areas in here that wanted to lose its redness. I'm just using this R37, or I think it's supposed to be 37, but you know, to me it's 37. I just touched some of that up. Doesn't matter that it's because it's black. It's not like I'm going to stain the cardstock in the back. And you know what? You don't notice anything now on these papers. Anything, those papers may be creased. Doesn't matter. So this I did bump up. I'm transitioning out of having Stampin' Up stuff because there's just such a wealth of stuff out there from other companies that I've now decided that I want to kind of venture into that. I'm buying less stuff from Stampin' Up. But I will admit, these small mini dimensionals from Stampin' Up can't be beat. They're just perfect. I don't know why they do the I guess it's a hexagon shape, but you know, if you place them down in just such a way, you will not see that hexagon shape. There's a little bit I'm seeing here, so I'm gonna just trim that off. But other than that, I don't see them. I'm looking to just get enough behind it. And if it dips, I don't care, because you know what? This is supposed to be kind of like on the front of a wreath. And I don't know about you, but I don't think there's anything about a wreath that's flat. So if this one's, you know, I'm looking for more realistic. If this goes and dips with the foil and everything else, I do want to probably maybe get something behind that. But that was the red version, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to put together all the remaining ones that are here. I think I have 16 more of each of these to do. And I'm going to get them done, and then I will be back. Here we are again. I'm on to day 3, actually. I was giving myself a schedule, And putting together my pre-cut out cards at 18 a pop was taking a lot longer than I thought. So last night I kind of tried to finish up those styles that I showed you previous. So today we're starting off with the next card, and this is where I tell you that like I came up with an iconic piece in red and green and just let it go. These were pieces in the Stampin Up Poinsettia die set that I just said, you know what, red poinsettia, green holly leaves. Banged these out and let it go. So this is a memory box. I think it's like the Airy, and it's like AIRY joy set, a joy die. There is the little dot for it that I did put in a separate bag so I didn't lose them all. But the patterns in this Toile pack were, I got an extra banner there. These were two more patterns, and this had like a countryside looking with, you know, the horse and carriage and just, you know, just the old English looking countryside. There's houses and churches and silos of farms and all types of stuff in there. So to me, I thought, you know, very classic traditional Christmas, and that's where I came out with these pieces. And again, they do the same thing where there's a garden green of the print on one side and a real red Stampin' Up color on the other. And like I said, I'm moving away from Stampin' Up, so I just want to show you that you can get, this is an olive paper. It's got the texture on it, and this was bought at Hobby Lobby. Again, because I'm going to actually get 36 of each because I have the 3 packs. You could do this card with 1 pack and you'd get 12 of each. So I'm looking to get as much as I can, and I'll buy this paper when it's 50% off at Hobby Lobby so that I can, like I said, get as many cards as I can, but still make them look nice. And I want this stuff to kind of match. So this is the Hobby Lobby red paper that I think matches pretty well, and the olive for the garden green in this pattern. I'm not saying it would happen for all of them, but I think there is enough of the olive, or I'm sorry, of the ivory in the background that I can pull it off, not being an exact match. This is the other pattern print, whatever you want to call it, in the pack, and this is their stripe. And again, the real red and the garden green are on the opposite sides. So I'm just planning to do these. I cut myself a strip of this, about a 1/2 inch wide. Like I said before, some of this stuff was leftover strips that I kept from doing other cards. So I'm not exactly sure of the width, but you can fool with the width. So I plan to just do this, and like I said, I come up with one concept of what the card's going to be, and then I will just do them very similar. So to me, this one is getting this with this on here, and this is going here with this on here. I haven't decided if I'm using that little dot for that. And that's what this card pattern is going to look like when I glue it all down. I'm trying to keep the videos kind of short, so I have that stuff prepped. So those are going to be card designs 3 and 4. Then I have, for another style, this is the, and again, these are just card fronts. I will be putting them onto card bases. I buy the extra heavyweight from Hobby Lobby, and I will do them on card bases, and I will blow them out all at one point in time. So for the second style, I decided to change this style up, and I went with going in the horizontal design versus the vertical. So for this design, I'm doing, this is like, you know, very similar to the other one, but this doesn't have the horse and carriage. This has more, there's an ice skating idea, like more winter activities outside, where the other was just kind of like a scenery of the mountainside. This is more of, it does have the houses, but it's got the kids playing with the snowman, the ice skating, so it was a little more playful. So I wanted to go with something depicting that. So to me, again, I was trying to think of something, and I did the same thing with the poinsettia and the holly, but I didn't like how the holly, it just left too much open space. So this was an old stamp and punch from Stampin' Up with these mittens. So I'm adding them on there. And this was going to be a banner across here. And I'm going to put this further down. And that's how that would be. So I don't have my concept. I make a concept card before I do the final. And I don't know why I can't find a concept card for that. So when this gets down, and these were just punched out, and I bought these rhinestones at Hobby Lobby. They're already colored, this gold color, and you know, this die set from Stampin' Up, it does emboss. I was really happy with that. A lot of Stampin' Up stuff has not embossed in the past, so I was happy to see that one did. And I had to punch these first and then do the stamping, as I did the other where I showed you how I do in the negative of the punch. I had to stamp these after, because trying to line these up was very, very difficult to punch them out after. So those were those cards. And then, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5, 6 card designs from that pattern. And then this is my card design in the green and this Toile pattern is very much about just the wildlife of the countryside. So these ones are getting done in this fashion. I, again, try to do them a little differently, so I'm doing them in the horizontal. And this was one I chose to go, I wanted something more nature related for this pattern. And I just really liked the same layout, but giving, because you know, the Toile pattern is all about the pattern. You want to see that. So for me, I wanted to put this off to the side, and I found this is a Sizzix, I think it's just called Bird Die. Found this in my last shopping trip to Hobby Lobby, and it was really beautiful. I liked how they came out. I cut them out in white, and then I colored them using C1 and C3 on the body, and then C6 with C3 on the wing. And then the beak is the YR21. And I don't know why I have E25 in here. Oh, I used E25 to color the branch on the wood part of the branch, not the leaves. Because what I did was I die cut this out in this olive paper. And I tried using the red for the berries, and I was not happy with that. What I did was I cut this out of just a red foil, and what I did find was these, again, this was the foil from Hobby Lobby, and I don't know if you can tell, there's a lot of silver that it leaves. If you just touch this up with a Copic marker, it will turn that paper back to the red, and you won't have a lot of that silver poking out again. It will permanently stain the paper back again. Unfortunately, some of the light is not showing. It's still giving glares. But that's how I handle the silver part coming through and get them back. So that was that one. And then this one is, loved this. This is the Pine Bough die set from the Greetery. I don't know if you could kind of see it in there. It's very multi-dimensional. I'm very happy. I have more cards coming that I'm using that for. And then this was the Greetery's Fit to be Tied die, and I loved the dimension that you get out of this die. I'm kind of trying to just cover up because I got some glue and stuff, and I could get a wet rag and kind of get it off, but you know what, this R37 just covers it up. So, and I just cut those out of like brown, the pine cones out of brown, and I will have another video that's showing me putting them together because they do take a little bit. I had to watch their video a couple of times to understand how I was putting that together. So this is now all of the patterns, other than there is a gingham pattern that's in this, and I did not come up with a card for those yet. I'm still wondering because they are such a universal pattern that I don't know if I want to do Christmas with them. So I will be showing you those in a later part of the video. So I'm hoping you enjoyed what I've shown you so far. Gives you some inspiration, maybe get rid of that toile paper you've had in your collection. I got glitter all over. Ooh. I don't even remember using glitter. Oh, no. So that gives you these two. That gives you these two. That gives you these two. Again, they're not all glued together because I kind of got behind on my schedule on what I'm doing here. But it gives you the idea. And then I had this one, and look at the other one. So there is 10 card designs right in this video. What to do with that toile paper, and I still have 2 more to show you yet.